So we're going to start the episode with disappointment, but let me tell you now, this is an episode to stick around till the end till. Well, actually not till the end, we'll review the bit I want to show you in the middle. Stick around till the end anyway. Now, thank you so much for joining me. If you are new, my name is Paul, also known as Northman. Can't even get my words out. I promise that's who I am. I promise. Please can you go down, drop a like on the video. And I've been asking in the last few videos, can you please go down, just comment, let me know that you're watching. And then later in the video, please comment, giving feedback on situations within the episode. The comments always do boost the YouTube algorithm. We are trying to push on with FM24, only what, 4 and then up to 10 is 6, 7 months away. I mean, it's just round the corner. We want to try to win the Champions League in this FM with AB, that's the dream. And then we want to obviously make sure that for FM24, my second Build a Nation series, or Build a Club, Build a Nation, Build a Club, it's going to be something along them lines, that it is the best ever. And I can only do that with feedback from you guys. Now, I do want to remind you that the next episode will be before the season starts. I won't go halfway through the season like we've done recently. Maybe we'll actually have 3 episodes a week, and we might start doing a mid-season review as well, which might shorten the videos down, and people might like it, people might not like it. I don't know. I'm sampling, I'm testing things at the minute. So let's get into this end of season review. We're going to start midway through the season and work our way along. So the league has dropped to 31st in the rankings, which is very, very annoying, mainly due to the fact that a lot of my other teams within the league suck and can't seem to do this shit themselves. So we've gone from 28th to 31st, dropping behind the Polish, the Austrian second tier, and the top flight in Israel. So we do need to just push ourselves back up there, make sure we do get ourselves back in the top 30, please. AB, our club ourselves, have moved up 10 places to 51st in the European club ranking. So I'm telling you now, it's not our fault we've dropped, it's everybody else. We're blaming everybody else. Coefficient-wise, I mean, it's not the best, is it? We've slipped down. We've slipped 3 places to 27th. We now start in the first qualifying round of the Champions League. That's from the season after, not this season. We have no teams in the second qualifying round of the Europa Conference. We now have 2 in the first qualifying round. The Europa League stays the same. So very, very frustrating that at the minute going into this season, we're on 24.375 joint with Finland. So it's a little bit annoying that Finland are ahead of us. And the worst thing is we lose a 5.375 at the end of this season. We will lose in 2 years of 3.75. That needs to go. We need to be on 5s and above every single season, I think, if we want to be a successful nation. But there's always going to be drops at this point, and then rise, drop, rise. It's just the way this happens. Liechtenstein are going to be taking a massive drop when they lose this 12. I still don't really understand how it all works, because it just doesn't make sense that we had the exact same season that Vaduz did, yet we only got half the amount of points that they got. So I really don't understand how the coefficient works and why Liechtenstein have got so many points, but there's nothing I can say, is there? There's nothing we can do. Now, Little Skara has just become the top goal scorer in the history of AB domestically with 137 goals in the league. So, well done to him. Previous holder was Kilberg with 136. It's quite sad he's dropped off and he's not the record scorer anymore. But Little Skara, second time at the club, and he is just doing insane. I'm going to jump forward just a second and we'll discuss how depressing this situation is. So Little Skara has now left us. Record goal scorer left about 2 days later. Unfortunately, he cried like I've never seen someone cry before. He didn't come to training and he just complained that the time was up and he wanted to leave. It's very frustrating. So we picked him up for 2.6 million, sold him for 10.5 plus 50% of next sale. We then bought him back for 1.9. We've now just sold him back for 7 million plus 50% of next sale again. So he's now gone to Peterborough in the Championship. It's upsetting because he was an absolute goal scorer. The only positive is I actually think Viotti is going to be better. So we've actually already got a player at the club who is just going to slot in and become our first choice striker. So I don't think we should panic too much. When you look at Viotti, 19 years old, he is an absolute machine. I mean, the next negative is we've also lost our goalkeeper. Again, another situation where we've had someone, sold him, had someone back, sold him again. So we paid 1.5, sold him for 2.5, plus 50% of next sale, bought him back for 1 million, and again, we've just sold him. So he's gone for 2 million, plus again 50% of next sale. I really didn't want to be selling these people. I told you I wanted a quiet summer window. But when they come and they kick off and they put the foot down, but we have replaced him with a former academy. I mean, I say former academy. Everybody's former academy. An academy graduate has come back to the club. So joining us from Copenhagen on loan for 1.5 years, I'm hoping after he's been on loan for 1.5 years, we might be able to convince him to actually come back and sign for us. Copenhagen are willing to sell him, but he will not sign the contract at the minute. But Peter Nergard Munksgaard, who came through our academy, has now joined us on loan. Obviously, sold him for 1.8. We paid 900 grand to have him for the next 2 years on loan. But I think it's a good bit of business. He comes in to replace the fact we lost our keeper. I'm a happy man. Honestly, I'm a happy man. Now, if we go to the transfer list, now I can reveal how things are looking. So, since you were last with us then, Kilberg's gone out on loan to Oulu. He kept complaining he wanted to go on loan. 30 years old now. We did have a free Kilberg hashtag in the chat. You should be happy now that he's gone out on loan to get some football. Ken Wolf, who was out on loan, we've now sold him for 240k to AGF. Going out Ekstrom to OB for 2.5 million. I kind of wanted to keep him. I did hope long term he would be a very solid left winger for us, but he didn't want to stick around. And if players don't want to be here, I kind of normally would just sell them, to be honest. Hansen has gone out on sale to KI. I was going to say on loan. Omar has gone on loan to Hammarby. Now, again, didn't really want to let him go, but he wanted to get some football, so I've let him go out on loan, see how he does. And then, obviously, Talon and Lidl are going out as well, means we've brought in 14 million this season. The only two people who've joined us is one of these pre-arranged contracts we'd already sorted, the Armenian youngster, 18 years old, left back, comes in as our backup left back. I think he's a very, very good player. 18 years old, yeah, really pleased with that. And then obviously Munksgaard coming back from Copenhagen. So we have got rid of a lot more players than we have, but it was worth doing. I think we did do the correct business. A lot of clubs are coming in for Alfaturi, but I do want to hold on to him. But I want to show you this. So Chelsea have sold Svana Misli. Somebody actually told me how to pronounce that, and I was a bit annoyed that I didn't work it out, and now I forgot. So they sold for 27 million, which meant we got 6.25 million now. We get another 6 million in installments, as well as some other random bits. So over 12 million has now come to us due to the sale of that guy. So if we're going to history, we paid 2.3, sold him for 6.5, but then we've just got another 12 million. So in total, we've got about 18 million for him after paying 2.3 million. Happy with that. This is such a bug where it gives you like loads of unratings versus candidates cancelled. But we have our youth intake. Andreas Garde is the best player that's come through. He's not bad, to be honest with you. Does have a bit of potential. Unambitious personality again, which is very frustrating. And then a right winger who's come through as well, who again mentally is fantastic. So if he can improve, he will be a very, very good player. He's undecided if he wants to play for the Faroe Islands, so he must have other nationality. He does, it's Danish. We'll see how that goes. And there's nobody else who massively stands out. This guy was decent, but not a world beater, but potentially could develop into somebody who's quite good. He's 6'2" as well, which is great to see. We do need more tall people, and a left wing back as well, which is very random. but again, undecided. So a lot of these people now are unsure if they want to play for the national team, which, to be honest with you, I don't really blame you, because we are crap. In terms of how things are going in the league at the minute, played 22, won 20, drew 1, lost 1. We actually have lost our first game in about 3 years. I think it was 71 games in the league since our last defeat. But we lost to Vikingur Goethe. We did rest a lot of players leading up to a Champions League game, and it came back to bite us in the backside. But we are looking like we're going to walk the league. We've already been crowned champions with 5 games to go. We 18 points clear. It's just an absolute walk in the park. I would like to walk it properly and get over 20 points clear of second. So we'll see what happens over the final few games. For the first season in a while, we are not going to win the treble. We actually went out in the semi-finals to B36, losing 2-1. Again, I rested quite a lot of people, and again, it came back and bit us in the backside. So it's B36 against EB, and I'm absolutely delighted because this is going to be the first non-AB or KI winner since we started the save. So B36 or EB are going to be crowned Cup champions and qualify for Europe. So a couple of awards to mention here. So the league campaign has finished. Midskogen got Player of the Year. Inderberg got Young Player of the Year, which is quite nice. He's still not broke into our team. Mentally and physically looks insane. Technically not bad as well. He's still not broke in as a first choice player, but when you look at how he's doing, you almost think to yourself, maybe he does deserve a better chance. 9 goals, 10 assists in 13 starts. Maybe next season he starts getting a bit more of a chance. It's a tough call. I won Head Coach of the Year again. Got a bit of praise from one of my players. In terms of the overall squad, Perez in goal is actually our young Swedish keeper we signed last season. So absolute delight for that. We've sent him on loan for 2 years to Vesta, and he's already got in the team of the year and did win actually goalkeeper of the year as well. Left wing Midskogen, Sterling centre mid, Lietenskar and Viotti up top. Didn't have anyone in the back line, which is a bit annoying, I would say. So goalkeeper of the year was Perez. Defender of the year is this guy here from TB, 30-year-old Dutch defender. Midfield of the year, Midskogen and Lietenskar won Forward of the Year, which, to be honest with you, I don't really care. I'm annoyed that Viotti wasn't even in the list for Striker of the Year. One thing I do want to mention is Bjornstad Hager. We were very close to selling him for 11 million plus 50% of next sale. Now, he does have 2 years left on his contract, and I rejected it. And for the first time, I've been putting my foot down with some of these players and just saying, no, I'm just refusing to sell you. I'm just hoping to God that he settles down and agrees to sign a new deal, because I really don't want to lose him. But if he's not signed a new deal by nearing the end of next season, we're probably going to have to cash in on him. But he's just stepped up and been absolutely insane. A lot of our players are wanted. Viotti's wanted, Midskogen's wanted, Mishani's wanted, Hagen, Sturla, Vittori, Hansen. Mark Quadson is wanted now. He wasn't even in the squad halfway through the season. He was very much a backup. He is now our first choice centre-back alongside Meng. 18 years old. Liverpool came in for him. I rejected it, and at no point did he complain. He just accepted it and kept going. So really, really pleased with that. Pereira as well is really knocking on the door to get more football. He has started how many games in the league? He started 13 games in the league, so he is one of our first choice, but he's just been pushed to the side for McQuarson at the minute. But yeah, we have some good young defenders in there at the minute. 18 and 19 years old, both of them very, very solid. So I'm very pleased with that. It's almost knocking on the door to say that Meng is not one of our first choice centre-backs anymore, but he's only 23. He's been with us since 2036. I like this guy. And plus he signed a new deal and is happy to stay now, so I definitely do like him. So another great thing to point out is we are the leaders in Europe for top tier development. We have 69 players in top flight clubs across the continent, one ahead of Benfica. We are leading that, and that's just crazy to think about, that we have more players in the top flight in Europe than any other club Any other club, we boss on that. So we did win the league. We did win it by more than 20 points. We won it by 24 points in the end. 125, drew 1, lost 1. Top goal scorer for the season was Dietel Skara, with Midskogen second on 16. Player of the matches, Midskogen picked up 6 player of the matches. If we go on players, we'll just go on player overview. Most assists was Sturla with 12 from central midfield. Horgan and Ingeberg with 10. Midskogen with 8. And actually Omar with 7. Now, considering he only played 8 games, you've got to give him some praise from right back that he picks up a lot of assists. What is great to see is our goalkeeper here, our former goalkeeper, with a 96% pass completion, and that's one of the main reasons why we play out from the back. I don't want my keeper kicking along, just gifting the ball back to them. Goalkeeper, defender, defensive mid, defender, defender, defender. We have all defenders or goalkeepers in that top list, and that is again down to how we are playing football, playing out from the back. So I'm going to try not to give away how the Champions League is going as we talk through it, until we get to the group stage, and then we'll review them games. So we start in the second qualifying round against RFS from Latvia. Yeah, from Latvia. We got 2-0 victory in the first leg. Mishan and Viotti on the score sheet. Before they came back to us, and we got a 3-0 victory. Horgan, Mishan and Viotti on the score sheet. Again, really, really pleased with that. But that drew us against Trabzonspor in the third qualifying round. A very tough side. Fortunately, in the first leg, we decided we were not going to mess around, and Viotti scored a hat-trick, and Mark Quadson on the score sheet as well, saw us take a 4-0 lead back to the Faroe Islands. We didn't disappoint, scored another 5 goals, winning the tie 9-1 on aggregate. Viotti, Midskogen, Mishan and Horgan on the score sheet. That then drew us against SJK in the playoff round to go into the Champions League group phase, and we absolutely dominated them. And this was in and around where Horgan was actually linked to leave us, and I was worried this could be his last game before I just decided, you know what, I'm cancelling the deal. I'm not going to sell him. Even if he gets upset, we need at some point to refuse to sell some of our best players. And he actually scored a hat-trick in extra time. So we were winning 2-1 going into added time. In the 90th minute, Horgan, 91st and 95th minute saw us get a 5-1 lead going into the second leg. Now in the second leg, it was a bit more of a tight game, but we did get a 1-0 victory going into the group stage of the Champions League. After failure to do so last year, it was good to be back. Now, we started the Champions League group phase against Rangers in Scotland, and we got a 3-1 victory. Mishan with 2 and Inderberg on the score sheet saw us pick up 3 points and 2.8 million, I think it is, on the opening day. Now, it's time to calm down, take a breath, because we then beat Real Sociedad 3-1. Back-to-back victories, 6 points out of 6 in the Champions League. Mishan on the score sheet and Viotti scoring 2 saw us win back-to-back games in the Champions League group phase. We did then get brought down to earth with a 3-0 defeat at home to Man City. Our first home game of this campaign, and we lost 3-0, but it was Man City. But not to worry, because after that, we bounced back with a 2-1 victory away from home to FC Cologne from Germany. Viotti and Inderberg on the score sheet. Now at this point our league campaign's finished, so we have 14-day gaps between games, and our fitness shone through and we looked very, very good. Someone messaged me. I'm just shocked. 9 points out of a possible 12, 3 wins out of a possible 4, was then made even more shocking when we got 2-0 victory of BK Håkon. Sturla and Mark Quadson on the score sheet saw us go through 2-0. I wish we were through. That would be a nice shock. So 4 wins out of 5, 12 points out of 15, and we are in dreamland at this point. Now we can almost say we've slipped up here because we got 1-1 draw against Atlanta. Viotti on the score sheet for us. Garelli on the score sheet then from the penalty spot in the 80th minute sees us have 13 points out of our first 6 games in the group phase. That was unexpected. So at the minute we are sitting in 5th place after 6 games. Won 4, drew 1, lost 1, scored 11, conceded 7. I think Viotti must be up there. Yeah, Viotti is top goal scorer in the Champions League with 12 goals so far. Midskogen is top assist with Sturla in second, 8 and 6 respectively. We are looking very, very solid. Now, we have, after the winter, we play Man United away and then Bayer Leverkusen at home. So them 2 games are going to be in the preview to the season coming up. And honestly, who's messaging me? Honestly, I am just blown away by the fact that we've gone from not qualifying for the Champions League last year to actually having a possibility of getting to the knockout rounds this season, which will be our first time in the Champions League knockout rounds. And oh my days, I'm delighted. So looking at the players for this season then, top goal scorer is Viotti with 28 goals, 10 assists. Mishan has 22 goals this year. Now after the adjustment of telling him he can move a bit more in the channels and roam a lot more, he is scoring a lot more goals. So 22 goals, 12 assists. Midskogen with 18 goals, 21 assists. Inderberg with 14 and 11. Horgan with 12 and 13. We're just looking very solid. In terms of assists, top assist is Midskogen with 21. Then Sturla with 20 from central midfield. Horgan with 13. Mishan with 12. Ingerberg 11. Viotti 11. We really are spreading it around and just looking very, very solid. Now, in terms of the coefficient, just quickly, how the points are looking because our Champions League run at the minute. We are on 5.375 points, which is the best we've done in the last 5 years. Puts us up to 24.375. So we're definitely going to be overtaking Serbia at the minute. 24.375, 24 and a half for Liechtenstein a minute, so maybe we can also overtake them and get ourselves up to maybe 25th, maybe 26th, around that. If we get to the knockouts, I don't know if we get a big boost of points there as well, I'm not sure, but it's progression. 100% we've seen a big progression jump now. In terms of the B team, won the league again, looking very dominant, 124, drew 3. In terms of the actual B team, top goal scorer in the B team with 18 goals is our central defender, who I don't even want to be our striker. I don't want him to be the striker. I want some of our young strikers to get football. But this guy keeps getting put in. His contract's running out, so we are going to let him leave. Second top goal scorer, this guy who I have just agreed a new contract with. This is who I want to play more next season. Rooney Samuelson. So he's going to get more game time up front for them. In terms of assists, 7 assists for Ingolfsson, who maybe will move up into the first team next year. 20 years old now, Icelandic. Obviously, this was his first year at the club, so he's been getting used to the club and the nation in the B team. If we go on to the under-18s, the under-18s won the league as well, losing 2 games, 123, drew 2, lost 2. Looking very decent without a shadow of a doubt. Unfortunately, I can't see any information because why would we want to see that? That would just be crazy, right? I wish they would give us that kind of information. 100% wish they would give us that kind of information. It says he's not at Vesta. Okay, I actually sent him on loan to Vesta at the end of last season, and this season he's been playing, so he's actually back. Okay, I'm going to actually move him up into the senior team for this next season because Mortensen is transfer listed and does want to leave. So maybe Perez will become our backup keeper for this season up ahead. Potentially. That's me thinking as I'm recording. Another thing to point out is in the UEFA Youth League, our under-18s have played 5 games, are currently sitting in the knockout round spots in 7th place, 1-3, drew 1, lost 1. They have beaten Harken 2-1, Cologne 2-1, and Man City 4-0, drawing to Rangers 0-0, and losing to Real Sociedad 2-0. But beating Man City 4-0 is it's a decent shout. Financially then, the wins in the Champions League have obviously put some money in our bank as well. We have 54.5 million. But I'm going to end this review of the season with a question. So on my shortlist, I've been keeping an eye on this player. I actually agreed a deal of 40 million to sign him. and he agreed a contract and everything, but I panicked and pulled out of it. I'm not going to lie, that's literally exactly how I panicked and pulled out. Mainly because we have Viotti, but Viotti could move onto the wing, and then, yeah, it adds depth. Would you spend the money? Do you think I made a mistake, or do you think I did the right thing? Let me know below. The only thing I was thinking was Viotti cost us 10 million, and I thought that was a bit steep. But he is scoring goals, so why replace him with somebody who's 4 times as much? But is he worth it? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below. But that is it for the video. I've been Paul, also known as the Northman. Thank you for the support on this series. As always, blown away with how you guys are supporting me at the minute. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.